My guest today on the Travel Ones podcast is Tracielynn. How are you today, Tracy? Or Tracielynn?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Pete? Tracielynn, whatever you want to call me, I'll reply.
But when you're looking it up, I know why you did this, but it's one word.
Yes, it
I got to make
is.
sure.
Yes, it is absolutely one word. There's another artist out there that goes by Tracielynn, two separate words. So every time I'm like on stage in an interview, wherever it may be, I'm like Tracielynn,
One word.
IE with an IE, no space in between.
No
But
space,
yeah,
no
so
hyphen, no nothing.
no, nothing. That's why I like try to even keep the L in Tracielynn lowercase. Some places, some musical platforms, it's capitalized. Some
Yeah.
places it's not. I'm like, I feel like that'll deter people from thinking it's two different words. But yeah, Tracielynn, I'm happy to be here. Tracielynn, one word.
Tracielynn, one word, is a singer-songwriter now based in Nashville.
Yes.
You just get
Yes.
the new single just came out, One Plus One with Cody Purvis. Uh,
Yes. It did.
I'm a big fan because you're not a slow singer. You got party songs, you got slow songs, you got everything in between.
Yeah,
It,
trying to balance it out. Please, everybody.
I was gonna say, is that on purpose? Because it seems like everyone has two sides to them, but
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I will say, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but it is harder as an independent artist to break into the industry, like as far as like getting a record deal or having a song hit number one, for the slower songs. I don't know why. It just is. It's easier. I wouldn't say easier, but if like you look at other songs that have hit number one, like an artist's first number one, a
yeah.
lot of them aren't slow. They're more upbeat. Once again, I don't know why, but yeah, I try to keep. I think right now what I've been doing or been pretty good at is releasing like a banger and then a ballad and then maybe a happy medium and then a
Yeah.
banger, keeping the contrast rolling with it.
I was I was just going to ask you, like, how do you release them? Because "Welcome to the Party" is a great summer song.
It is. It is. Okay, so obviously you have seasons to take into account as well.
Yes.
Like Your Whiskey for me
Yeah.
was absolutely a fall song.
I was going
And
to say a
also
fall song.
because yeah, I think about sitting on like a porch at like a cabin on a crisp like winter's day, listening to your whiskey, sipping on whiskey. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It kind of goes with the vibe. And then Welcome to the Party is unapologetically summer.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good book.
So I
What's
definitely
99 bottles?
I think 99 Bottles is a winter song. I think it's a winter song. It also took place at like one of my favorite bars here in Nashville, Santa's Pub.
Okay.
So with that, I was like, Santa, December, we're all kind of this all happening around Christmas. So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
winter song. But
So
yeah,
we're recording this in February. So are you working on summer songs already? Do you have
I have a
future songs?
few things up in the air right now. I don't have anything solidified.
Okay.
But once I do, I'll absolutely let you know. But for right now, the main concentration is One Plus One.
Yeah.
I'll say from a timeline perspective, by summer, the goal right now is by summer to have my entire album released, which will essentially be all the songs I've already released plus 2 or 3 incentive tracks. So basically taking everything I've released, packaging it together, and then having 2 or 3 unreleased
Right.
songs included in that for like incentives. That's the plan now, but everything in this industry, you think if something is confirmed,
It's not.
it's really not confirmed. It's like, that's the hope right there. Like even with shows, it's like, okay, yeah, we'll have this show. And then it's like, yeah, something happened. It's not going to happen anymore. So it's all over the place.
I was going to ask you about with touring, you know,
Yeah.
getting out and about. How frustrating is that? I mean, does that happen when you're out and they go, "Oh, well, no one called you. Sorry, you can't play tonight."
I've not had that happen, but I
Okay.
have had a situation, and I won't say where, but I had a
Yeah, yeah.
situation where I showed up to play an out of town show, and it was never a conversation of we forgot you were going to play, but it was very obvious. Like they didn't, okay,
Yeah.
obvious in the sense the sound guy was not there.
Yeah.
They had to call him and have him come to the place because he didn't even know he was supposed to work that night. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that happened, but that's pretty much, I mean, we still performed and it was fine. But I've never like showed up somewhere and not ended up playing.
Oh.
I'm like, no, I showed up. I'm gonna play. Like, let's figure this out. I just drove 3
I'll be on the
hours with my
sidewalk, but
ex.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
But
I had an account in Hawaii on Maui, and the buyer called in sick, and I'm like, I just flew 6 hours. um,
oh my God.
how sick is she?
I know, right? Can she sit on one side of the room while I sit on the other?
Yeah, and this was
Like, come on.
pre-COVID, so it
Yeah,
wasn't
I
even a
know.
matter of
Right. Even so, I'd be like, I'll just sit. We will talk through the wall.
yeah.
It's fine.
Now it'd be easy. I actually do a lot of my appointments with Zoom because some of the big corporate accounts that I work with aren't allowed to have people in, so we're getting
Yeah.
good at Zooming.
I'm way more of a people person. I would
Yeah.
rather like get out of my apartment, get dressed, go meet somebody in person than Zoom. But I think it's also because I've been doing so much Zoom related things for the last like 2.5 years
Yeah.
that it just like, but it is what it is. It's definitely handy, like if and when you want to do something like this and
Yeah.
be able to still put a face to a name
Yep.
versus like just a phone call and stuff like that.
That's my first 130 or so episodes were just audio only, and I had
Yeah, see, I feel like that would be hard.
it's hard, but it's just different.
Yeah, it's different because I feel like it's kind of like texting in the way of like you
Yeah.
can't see the person's facial expressions or like, maybe if you say something and it gets quiet, it's like, are they smiling or are they mad?
Yeah. Are they thinking about what they want to say, or
Right, right.
yeah, or are they just drinking a big mug of iced tea?
Yeah, right. Chai tea. I don't know if it's tea or chai. I maybe
I
say
don't either.
tomato, tomato.
But see, now if that was audio only, I would have just there would have been a pause, and I'd be like, oh my god, is she mad? Did I say something wrong?
No.
And now I know you were just gulping. See?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, I'm not a sensitive person to say the least. I have pretty good thick skin.
I was going to ask you. Yeah, you're from Virginia originally, born and
Yes.
raised.
Mhm.
What's it like being an independent emerging artist in Nashville for you?
Um, very hard.
Yeah.
I like to tell people that I am definitely I'm hands down working the hardest I've ever worked, the most stressed I've ever been, but all like in the best way possible.
Sure.
Like it's the hardest thing. And like, I'll just say that, but like in a good way. Like I would rather be working the hardest I've ever worked towards my dream than the hardest I've ever worked towards some 9 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get you on
yeah.
that one.
Yeah. And it's also, I will say one thing though, that I do love. I love I think it's so important and it will vary depending on the person to when you're trying to do something, regardless of what your career path is, to surround yourself with people who are just as eager and hungry as you are.
Yeah.
Because then it just keeps you going versus it not being that situation.
Well, that's got to be
So
a
it's
plus in
definitely,
Nashville
oh yeah.
because
Oh
there's
yeah. I go out to showcases like honestly, when my husband and I, when we first moved here, which was in a week, it'll be like 2 years. It'll be our 2-year mark.
nice.
So we moved here literally like a month and a half before the pandemic. And when we first came here, my sole objective was to network as much as I possibly could. And we still don't really we weren't, rolling with the money. So I was like, we'll cook dinner at home. And then we will go to a new bar every night, have one drink, a
gotcha.
beer, whatever, and talk to whoever's sitting next to us. And we did that for like a month, maybe a month and a half. And it wasn't every night. It was like maybe Tuesday through Saturday, something like that. And I met so many people through doing that. And I would just be honest, like, hey, I just moved to town. I'm just trying to meet people. I'm Tracielynn. I'm an independent artist. I'm trying to establish myself, get my name out there. And it's like this mutual understanding. Like everybody gets it. Like most of the people that live here, especially independent artists, did the same thing I did, just packed their bags and came. Because if you sit around and wait for that right time, it's just not going to happen.
Well, I've been to Virginia once, but I don't know the country scene in Virginia.
It depends. It depends on where. There's definitely a country music scene in Virginia, but the issue is there isn't really a music scene
Right.
in Virginia. I mean, when I was back home, I had a band back home, and then I had a full-time job, and then just like admin work, like 9 to 5 solely so I could be out performing on the weekends.
Yeah.
And we would do stuff like on like Fridays and Saturdays, but they didn't come to Nashville with me, obviously. So, but yeah, there just wasn't an option to progress. Like I really think that if you are serious about country music in specific, you have to move here. You just have to. You're surrounding yourself by opportunity by just being here. You could run into somebody at the grocery store who could literally change your life. You don't know. Yeah. So that was.
Let me
Virginia,
ask you. I was ask you this question.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. There's no sorry here. You drink your tea. You do your thing.
I am.
If you were trying to explain Broadway to people that have never been there, how would you explain it?
Chaos with great music.
Yeah.
Chaos with great music. I mean, you can literally walk down without even walking into any of the places, and there's just a disgusting amount of talent. I mean, it's its own animal for sure. To be completely transparent, I do not go to Broadway unless
most people don't live there.
Yeah, unless one of like somebody I played with is performing down there. Like when I first moved to town, I had my drummer would always have shows down on Broadway, so we would pop in to go there. But or if we have friends and family in town who've never done Broadway, then we have to do Broadway. But yeah, I don't really head over to Broadway.
Well, that's like people that live in Vegas. They don't go to the Strip ever.
Yeah, no,
ever.
We don't. Unless we've had maybe one too many, and then we're like, Broadway sounds like a great idea.
Let's go.
Right.
Because I try to tell people that have never been there, you know, especially out here in California. I'm like, there's just really skinny bars, 3 stories tall, with live music on all 3 floors. Yes. And it starts about 10, maybe 11 in the mornings. And it's till whenever they close, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And it's
typically the shifts end at 2. So you'll have like an act go on at 11 and they'll be done by 2 there, or 11, 12, 1, 2. No, I lied. 10. They're 4-hour shifts.
Okay.
So it'd be 10 to 2, or if maybe some close at 3. I don't know. I've honestly never been down there that late. So I don't know when they close, but something like that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's crazy how good, like my wife and I, we went into a couple of restaurants and bars, and like our waiter, we ended up talking to him at a really nice steakhouse right on Broadway. And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm a singer too." And I checked him out. I'm like, "Oh my God, he's like really good."
Yeah.
He's my waiter, you know?
Yes. Do you remember the name of that steak restaurant? Because I think somebody literally just mentioned to us there's a really good steak restaurant on Broadway.
Oh my gosh. I can picture it. I'll get it back to you.
Okay, yeah. Don't worry about it.
It's on the second floor, brick building, about midway, kind of across from the Boot Barn.
Okay.
But
I'll have to figure it out.
More towards the Predator Stadium.
Okay. So closer. Oh, more towards the Predators.
I'll find it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's so much talent. I like to think that Nashville is filled with, you know, every high school has like the one person that's like the most talented like singer of that school.
Yeah.
Nashville's all of those one people put together. So you were the big shot in your hometown. You come to Nashville, and Nashville is a big pool of those big shots.
Yeah. So,
but it's good. I mean, it's all.
Well, you get to meet people like Cody, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. I love Nashville.
The city. What is the you moved there right around pre-pandemic then, right? You said 2 years?
Yeah, literally like a month and a half before the pandemic started. It was really hard. Because I was like, wait, should I have just waited? Well, it was the pandemic and then the tornado.
Yeah, right on the north side.
It was a lot. Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, I did a lot that I could have done. Like everything for the most part I did that I wanted to do goal-wise other than being out performing. But as far as like, I mean, that's when Good Kind of Crazy, my biggest song so far, got #1 on Radio Disney twice, not even at the same time. So I did the thing.
Yeah.
Just wasn't out performing, which unfortunately is the reason I do what I do. It's my favorite part of what I do.
So, how much live performing have you done over the last 2 years,
Um,
or touring, or any of that?
I haven't done any like full blown out tours, but I've done a few shows and like the surrounding areas of Nashville, like driving distance, like Georgia,
Yeah.
Alabama, well, South Carolina. That's not really driving distance, but we go there a decent amount. We already have 3 shows coming up there. I went to USC, so I'm a former the real USC,
I
the
was gonna say that means
Gamecock.
something completely different from where I live.
No,
But go
yeah,
ahead.
no, Gamecock. So we go to one of the places down there, which is an awesome, like, it's an outdoor music venue, but it also attached to it is a restaurant.
Right.
It's right on Main Street. It's called Market on Main. Awesome place to perform. I love going there. They treat us amazingly.
Nice.
So I haven't done any full blown out tours, but I've been spotty, like
Yeah.
over, and I think that's because my next step in my career, I want to get a talent agent. So hopefully that'll happen. And once that does, that's when you kind of have the opening slots for like 10 days of
Yeah.
whoever it may be
Whoever's
headlining
coming through
for
or
it.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Logistically, to do that without a talent agent is like, might as well be impossible. Like, I mean, it's possible, but it's a logistical nightmare. I remember I did a run. This was like only a couple months ago. We did a run. It was like a 4-day run. I can't even say the names of the places, but I put it all together myself. And I'm glad we did it, and it went fine. Everything went well. But it was a logistical nightmare, like to put it all together and to do all of that.
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's really hard setting it up, especially because I'm a 4-piece band. So it's me, my lead guitar player, my drummer, and my bass player. And if one of them is like, I can do these 3 dates, but I can't do this date. And it's like a sub game, and it's a lot, but it's part of the ride.
And everyone has to go through it.
Exactly. You learn a lot from it, especially technologically, like the technical terms. Sorry about that. It's my phone is low battery. A lot of different terms and stuff you learn, because I'm not good. I know what to plug in where, but as far as like running tracks and stuff like that, if you're familiar with what tracks are, it's basically like, if I'm going to play a song that's got fiddle, mandolin, steel in it, and like 3 different guitar parts, obviously I don't have that. Yeah, I don't have that many pieces up on stage with me, so we'll have that built out in the tracks playing behind us just to fill up the song. But yeah, so I have some fun stuff coming up. I have something, and I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it. But yeah, I think there's a contract involved for it. So once I can announce it, I'll tell you. But I have something really exciting coming up in May. Okay. So like show wise, but I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it. So
no, that's fine.
I'll let you know later if I can.
Yeah, let me know, and then I'll just do a little thing on my social media when it happens.
Yeah.
Good. It's not playing with George Strait or anybody, right?
No, but it's playing with somebody very, very important.
Okay.
One of my favorite artists, so we'll see.
I'll have to think about that.
Are your wheels just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll have to check in on that, and I'll definitely let you know.
That's fine. So, do you want to get a talent agent, huh? Now, how do you go about? How do you go about doing that?
There's no formula or like this is how it happens. It's one of those things where it just happens. You have enough ammo behind your name that you're something. I mean, you were essentially, it's all business. I mean, you are someone they're willing to essentially invest in. Like if they believe in you enough and you have enough ammo behind your name, then they're going to put you on tour with Joe Schmo versus, I'm just making up names. Yeah. Then, Lucy, who's, kind of here, they're going to put somebody who's here out on tour than somebody that's here. So I don't know if I'm making sense. It's very, very complicated, but there's no, this is how you do it. It just happens. And sometimes it's a matter of just having to showcase yourself and inviting talent agents out.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, I mean, I know back in the day, artists used to literally walk on Music Row and just drop off their demos.
Oh yeah, it doesn't work like that anymore.
Right.
But
So I
yeah, it
mean,
used to be like that.
but Music
So
Row's still there, and you have
yes.
so like you're big on TikTok.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'm working. I feel like 120. I don't know how much I have. Something in the 20 range, 120 range. But I feel like on TikTok, that's not that big. I feel like that's like, I feel like once I hit a million, I'll feel like I've made it on TikTok.
no comment.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, TikTok is one of those things where honestly, it's a lot of it can be, I'm going to be completely honest, a lot of it can be really cringy to me, but I'm using it because I feel like I would literally be a fool not to. It's free
Yeah.
marketing,
Yeah.
and you have one video that goes viral and essentially could literally change your life.
Yep.
So yeah,
Well,
I'm on the TikTok.
there was an artist I found on TikTok because they used his song as the underneath for the video, and I'm like, oh, that's a
Uh-huh.
cool song. I went and checked them out, and then and this was like 4 months ago, and now that song has 5 million streams, and he just performed on the
I
Ellen show.
know. I know. That's what I'm saying. It literally one video. And I really don't think there's a rhyme or reason behind TikTok. I
I don't
think you
either.
post at the right time. And that's literally all it is. Like you could post a video of you going like meow, meow, bark, bark. And like it could get 2 million views. And then all of a sudden you've got these companies from left and right wanting to work
Yeah.
with you. So it's just crazy. So yeah, I'm abusing it while it's still free because I feel like they could put a $5 monthly limit on it
Well,
and people would still use it.
I just think like Instagram kind of was that way when it first came out, and now they've bastardized the algorithm so much that it's no
Oh, it's an
longer.
algorithmic monster. It's
Yeah.
such a monster. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like TikTok's even algorithm isn't as much as of a monster as Instagram.
I don't
I
either.
feel like,
No.
yeah, I feel like if you post something on Instagram that it should reach every single one of your followers.
And it does
What's
not.
the point? It does not. And I can literally go on my back and be like, why was this only put out in front of like 300 people? Like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening? Yeah, I think a lot of people are frustrated with, and I mean, at least people I've talked to are a little frustrated with Instagram.
Yeah.
But I don't, maybe they'll change it. I don't know. Their algorithm changes all the time too, I think.
Yeah. I've had a couple of my guests have just gone crazy on TikTok,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah. I mean, why not go crazy on TikTok? Why try to even go on Instagram and do all of this when you're going to get better results on TikTok?
yeah.
Like, I mean, you should be using both. And then, and maybe in 6 months, it will reverse. People will be like, oh, all Instagram and TikTok's monster of an algorithm
Or
isn't
what?
working
Or
for
the
me.
next TikTok, whatever's new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's this competition between the two. But yeah, I will say Instagram did just release this new thing. And I think it's uh, to compete with TikTok, where it's like a real thing, where
Yeah.
if you post reels, they'll pay you for them,
Yep.
which I think is good. I think it's a little overdue, but like that's good.
Are you at the? I don't know about TikTok. Are you at the level where you're making a little bit of change out of TikToks, or
So I
I don't know?
was initially, and then what happened was, yeah, I was making, I mean, not a lot of money, but it was
Uh,
still money, you know what I
uh,
mean? It's still some sort of flow. And then I left, it's called a creator account.
right.
I left it because so many people were telling me that it has a direct impact on your views, that it can negatively
Uh,
affect your views. So I was like, okay, let me just leave it, test out that theory, and then try to rejoin. And I've been trying to rejoin for like months now. And they're telling me that I can't join and that I don't,
you're the
I
ex-girlfriend
haven't
that
followed the
wants to back now.
guidelines. I know. I'm like, wait, I'm not following your guidelines. How? Like, what did I do? Did I
I
like,
want to get back together. No.
I know exactly. So I was like, okay, fine, TikTok. But yeah, no, I think that's good. I think that creators do. I mean, it's social media is so unbelievably time consuming
Yeah.
that you should
Yeah.
be, if you're on it, like active on it and you're making good content, then they can absolutely afford to pay the people that like, I think it's a great thing that both ends now, TikTok and Instagram, are offering that program of getting
Yeah.
paid.
Well, I
Yeah.
know like on Instagram, I agree with you. It's like it doesn't matter if you have 20,000 followers. I mean, I guess when you get into the millions, but even the people with a million followers on Instagram are only getting 15,000 likes or whatever. And you're like,
Yeah.
where's the other 985,000 people?
Right. No, and you can see, like, I can literally, like I was saying earlier, you can go on your back end and see like the engagement.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it's just like drastically low, and it's just like it tells you how many people it was put out in front of.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, like it's just not fair, because it's like you were growing your Instagram is very hard.
Yeah.
It's much harder than growing your TikTok. And so if you put in the work, it's just frustrating to know that, like, hey, or for me, an artist, like I'm putting out a new song, I'm trying to create this build up the week prior or whatever it may be, and it's
Yeah.
only reaching this many people. Why? Like,
Yeah.
what's the why behind that? That doesn't even make sense. But I'm not alone in it. A lot of people are dealing with it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, even playing field between TikTok and Instagram, it's like, okay, you're not working, well, I'm going to go to this one.
I gotcha. It's
Yeah.
interesting because one of my guests, she has over a million followers on TikTok, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
holy crap! I mean, I think she had a couple 100,000 on Instagram over years, and like
Yeah.
instantly she got a million followers on TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok's even
Like,
weirder with
yeah,
it, because I'll post a video sometimes and like it'll get like a couple hundred views.
yeah,
And I'm like, what? So I ended up deleting it because I heard word of mouth. I don't know if this is true, that if you keep up videos with less than like 1,000 views or like low view count, then they can drag down
yeah.
your other videos from getting views. I don't know. I'm testing out all these different kind of theories, because why not? I'm
I'm
like, okay,
going to
I'll
follow
delete
you.
it. Right. I'll delete this one and repost it. And in doing that, it's being put out to a brand new audience anyway. So who's it hurting?
I'm terrible on TikTok. I'm a self-admitted terrible. I like watching the videos. I'm not good at a minute, but I made a video. I'm going to show you this. It's ridiculous. I'm going to get the number. Most are about 180, 160 views. Right.
Uh-huh.
I have 362 followers.
Mm-hmm.
I have one video I shot. Get the current numbers on it. It's you couldn't tell me why. It's just of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
296,000 views.
This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, like
The
it
one
just
before the one before had 201 views.
right.
The video after had 179 views. That
Yeah,
one's got 296,000.7 views and
exactly.
almost 4,000 likes.
Mm-hmm. That's why if you're a business, even like outside of artists, like if you were just
Yeah.
trying to grow your business, use TikTok.
No.
Use it. Don't use it. I like to say abuse it. Like seriously, it's worth it. At least once again, while it's free.
Do you think? Do you think social media for an independent artist like yourself is that going to help you get the agent? Do you think because they go, oh well, let's check out her social media numbers,
Oh
her
yes,
engagement.
social media is, I mean, I'm sure it depends on the agency and who is the person looking at your stuff, but social media is very, very important, because once again, the music industry, it's all a business.
Yeah.
So if you are somebody who has, you know, hundreds of thousands of followers, that's hundreds of thousands of people that your music is going to go out in front of already right out the gate. So if they're real followers, which I'm pretty sure there's a way to check that, like you can look at stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yes, I would say, especially in today's day and age, social media is everything. There were multiple people that got record deals through TikTok over this past like year and a half. Like, I don't mean even little record deals. I mean fat record deals. Having never even like really done big, like legit performances.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy, because if you have one song at that point and it's doing really well, from a business perspective, that's an investment. Like,
I tell you, I reached out to that it's a 90s rap guy. He does like 90s type rap. The guy I was telling you about earlier. I reached
yeah.
out to him, said, "Hey, we want to like be on the show." You know, talk. He goes, "We've never toured. We've never played anywhere." I'm like, "What?"
What?
Like, you have 5 million streams, and he's like, "Yeah, we." He literally recorded it in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Literally,
Wow.
not even in a studio. I mean, a bedroom recording has 5 million streams.
Wow. Yeah. I'm telling you, social media, it's taking over. It's a monster, but like a good
It
monster.
could be, yeah.
Yeah, it could be, or it could be like a bad monster. It just depends on the situation.
I also think how you use it.
For how do,
how you if it could be a bad thing if you use it.
oh yeah, yeah. You mean how you use it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. I agree with you completely, completely. But I mean, I use it. I don't. I have very much a love-hate relationship with social media.
yeah. I think everyone does,
Yeah, exactly.
or
Some
at
days
least
I'm like,
most
wow,
sane
this is
people.
great. Yeah. Then other days I'm like, this is just like,
Waste of time.
yes, yes. I'm like, it's too much. I just would rather be concentrating on like just like music and networking. But it's like you can literally be networking without actually really networking.
Yep.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you and I connected. So I mean,
I know, I know. Can you imagine what the music industry would have looked like 50 years ago if they had all the social media? Like
yeah,
who would have actually been like this, like the singers we look up to, like George Strait? Who would we
yeah. Not even 50 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it would be crazy. It'd be
Uh,
wild.
Imagine this. I've done this with a few people. Go out on tour without your phone.
Oh no, you can't. It's impossible.
Yeah. Forget social media. Just
Yeah.
I'll give you a cell phone, but it's just a phone.
Yeah, no. And the first thing that popped into my head was you have to get content while you're on tour. Like
Yeah,
behind the
exactly.
scenes, you got to be
No, no.
making videos, taking pictures.
How about booking a hotel, Uber, cabs, food? How much you
Yeah.
use your phone for real?
Oh, for everything.
Yeah, for a business traveler,
Yeah.
if you're out, imagine not having a smartphone.
I know. No, thank gosh I don't have to.
And that's
That's not the case.
you go back 50 years ago, even like 30 years ago. I've talked to some artists that were playing in the 80s and 90s. There was no smartphones, so like they would go on tour to Europe. There's no maps, there's no translations, there's no bookings. You had to have a travel agent to book your flights and your hotels and all that because you didn't know where to go.
Right. Yeah,
So,
I know.
so the phone
I
could be a
know.
good thing.
Yes, it's definitely a good thing as in regards to like touring.
But so I'm looking at on your website, All Goes South. Now, is
Yes.
that the album that you're talking about, the compilation album?
Okay, so I don't
Uh
know if I'm
oh.
allowed to talk about this.
Well, it's right
We
here. I'm
are
looking at it.
well, you have to have yes. So we're when the album drops, it depends. I mean, there's no like right or wrong way to do this per se, but you can either have the album called a track that's actually on the
Right.
album, or you can call it something that encompasses basically the album as a whole. And so my plan was All Go South is obviously its own track, its own single, but I think it does an amazing job, and it's not set in stone. There's still lots of stuff up in the air, but it does a great job encompassing everything and like who I am as an artist.
Gotcha.
Um, so we'll see. I don't know yet.
Okay. Okay.
There's a few other options that I've thought about, but also it does come down to what are those 2 to 3 tracks going to look like and which ones are they? Because there may
Yeah.
be one like there's one that may be on there that I just actually wrote like a week ago, but I have to change some of the lyrics in it. But that could be one. I mean, I don't know. Once again, you know how I was saying earlier, when something's confirmed, it's not really ever fully confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That,
we'll see. We'll see.
do you make singles because that's the affordable way to do it now versus dropping an entire album at once, or are you just trying to pique interest to build up to the album? Because like when I was
So
a kid, we didn't have that. You just got an album, you know.
mhm. So when I first moved to Nashville, that's what my team wanted to do. They wanted to do like an EP.
Yeah.
And I was the one that was like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, because I feel like, and this is just my opinion, and it's crazy because I feel like everybody copied me, but they didn't, obviously. But I was like, I feel like as a listener, if I sit down and listen to an EP, which is typically like 4 to 5 tracks, maybe 6, and an album normally is nothing less than 10 songs. Standard, it's like 12
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
I could potentially overlook one of the tracks when listening to all of it, versus when you release a song as a single, it has its own stage time to really see the full potential of the song. Like, you put it out, you do the build up, whether that's a week or two before the song releases, and then you really get to see how the song does, versus when you put it in a pile of 12 different songs,
It
or
might get
maybe it's
lost.
it could easily get lost, and it could be a big old hit, and it just didn't get the spotlight or the attention it needed because it was among 4, 5, 6 other different hits.
Yeah.
So that was my thought process. I feel like it's worked. It's really worked too.
See, I would agree with you because back in the day, you know, you would get an album and you would listen to the whole thing or a cassette.
Yeah.
You would listen to the entire. But now it's not that way anymore. I think people are like, I like that song, and I'm just going to play that song a few times, and let me see. They might not even go to your other songs because they're moving on to their next favorite song.
Right. Exactly.
I totally agree.
That was my thought process on it. And once, not if, just when I get big enough to be able to do that and stuff won't get overlooked, then I will. Like, I mean, if you're Taylor Swift, you could put out a 20-song album and nothing's going to get overlooked.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. But as an independent artist, you're still trying to establish yourself. I think it's a good plan.
Yeah, I agree. You know, you mentioned you're married and you got the big rock on the hand. Have you?
He did a good job. He's hiding in the bedroom right now because he thinks that he's in the way.
So my wife's trying to do the same thing. Have you talked to him? Have you guys had discussions about what tour life's going to be like if you get to that next level?
Oh yeah, for sure. That was something that we even talked about before we even moved here. Because I told him before I moved here, because I had an opportunity before I moved here. That's why we moved here full time. And we sat down one night. I was like, I'm just letting you know, a lot of things are about to change. It's going to be very different. I was like, and if and when, not if, when this does happen, we would like for him to have a job that would allow him to go on tour with me, obviously, because he's like my rock. But realistically, unless he has a fully remote job, he's not going to be able to come on all the tour dates. Yep. But it is what it is. I mean, we'll figure out when it comes. But for me, it's so important that he is there.
We're in I'm on the road, not as much. We're still dealing with pandemic issues with traveling, but
yeah.
I was probably about 110, 120 days a year on the road.
So, it's hard.
You know who has it worse? Musicians.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if it were up to me, honestly, I would be on the road living out of a bus for 9-10 months out of the year. And the only months I'd want to be home would be December for Christmas and holidays. Like,
nope.
November.
You got NFR, so you can't do that. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I like love being out and performing. It's my favorite thing about what I do. But until that time comes, I mean, we'll figure it out. It would be ideal. We talked about like, and hopefully nobody from his work sees this, but we talked about the idea of like in the future, if and when that happens, him getting a job that is fully remote. That way it wouldn't cause any sort of complications with it. But if not, it would be what it is and we'd have to figure it out. And
that's interesting because a lot of companies are going remote. With the business people I talk to, they're keeping their employees remote, even though they could come back now.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of companies also, it was like a very quick realization that it's really affordable to have your employees work from home versus renting out an office space. As far as their work ethic, I'm sure a lot of people, there's a decline in work ethic because some people don't, they don't work as hard when they work from home. Like for me, I would have to go into an office somewhere or to an appointment, to a meeting, then sitting at home. I'd be sitting at home like, oh, I need to clean that table. Oh, I need to organize my closet. Oh, I need to do this. And so it's just easily sidetracked. But I have friends who are now fully remote that weren't, and they say they work even better because they get to eat at home. They have everything they need around them. And I'm like, no, not me. I'm too much of like an extrovert.
Well, see, especially, I know, especially here in LA, in Los Angeles,
Mhm.
being remote is huge because
Yeah.
a commute time is like an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours each way.
Oh
And
yeah, the traffic in LA was horrendous. It was probably the worst traffic I've ever
it's, yeah,
experienced. When like I'd go out to visit my cousins,
yeah,
I was like, this is literally to go like, oh, okay, I lied. New York City's probably the worst. Like New York City, city.
yeah, in the city, but it's more condensed.
Yes, it is. I would walk. I had friends that lived there. I still have friends that live there. And when I go on weekends, we would walk miles every day because I was like, to go a mile, it'll take like an hour in an Uber,
Yeah,
or
or
I could
even
just
walking.
walk. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Nashville's traffic's not too bad. I mean, it's still a city, so it's not bad.
I
But
love going there because I've been to Nashville a few times, like I told you. I like going there and hearing people from there complain about the traffic, and I'm like,
yeah, you're like, please stop while you're
I
ahead.
go, they go, well, how bad's traffic in LA? And I go, well, go from downtown Nashville to Murfreesboro
Mm,
and stop and go traffic.
yeah,
40 miles, 35, 40
yeah.
miles of,
I know it's rough. I'm gonna see if I have an extra phone charger because I think my phone is. I don't think it's gonna die, but if it does, I would hate that. So let's see. Let me grab one. Intermission.
you're doing good. You haven't sworn yet.
Oh, I know, right? So that's a good sign.
That's a plus.
Yes, that is a plus because I do have to actually think about that. All right, here we go. We're in the safe zone now. Got a charger.
My second episode ever was with Cowboy Troy, and he
I'm not
performs with
familiar with
big.
Cowboy Troy. Is he an actual cowboy? Is he an
Yeah,
artist?
yeah, he performs with Big and Rich. So
Oh,
if
I feel like I knew that. I feel like I knew that.
if you've ever seen Save a Horse Ride a Cowboy video, he's in it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I know who you're talking about.
But so we sponsor him, and I've known him for 10 years, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was my second guest, and I think he was in Colorado Springs or Denver, and his phone died because he was on an airplane doing all that. So
Huh.
like in the middle of my second episode ever, and he goes, "Hang on,
Yeah.
let me charge up. Let me put a charger in." It's like,
Yeah. That's what
oh,
I thought. I don't think it would happen, but if there is a chance it happen, I'd rather just go ahead and grab it.
wow, we've talked too long. You're getting through that tea.
I'm not gonna drink all of it because it's like I don't know what time it is. It's like 4 o'clock here, right? Or like 4:30. We went our interview was
4:50.
at 4, so it's like 4:30. I don't know, but yeah, no, to keep me up,
So,
and I don't want that.
what do you have scheduled? You mentioned you have some dates coming up, but it sounds
Yeah,
like
so yeah, I have March 17th. I'll be in March 17th. I'll be in Columbia, South Carolina, and then May. I want to say there's like 3 dates in May. I'll be in Columbia too with the same venue, and then I'll also be in Virginia in May. I don't have the list right in front of me.
that's
Not
okay.
everything's on my website too. I need to update that because I have some shows that aren't. They haven't populated like on my website yet.
Yeah.
Not all of them are ticketed though. Some of them aren't ticketed, so it's not like a time sensitive thing. But and then I'm
Do you try and hit like rodeos and different fairs and all that?
yes, I love to hit fairs. Oh, that's another thing. I have, gosh, I should have written this down. I have a fair festival called the Honeybee Festival. I just can't remember where it is.
Sounds like Minnesota.
No, I don't. It's not Minnesota. It's driving distance, but like we'd stay the night there. Um, I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
But yeah, fairs and festivals are awesome, but it just depends on the size of the festival. Like most festivals, like you have Boots in the Park or
Yeah.
Rock the South, stuff like that. A lot of them do their booking through talent agents.
Uh,
So it's kind of like one of those things where, I'm not saying like that is how it is. There's some special cases where like you
but
don't have
not
to have a
many.
talent agent.
Yeah.
Right. But pretty rule of thumb is that it's through a talent agent and the talent agent books it, or it's a record deals kind of thing where like the only artists performing at it are people signed to
That
X, Y, and Z record deal. Yeah. Or sometimes it's even a radio station put on by like a radio station, and the radio station is who chooses. But not always.
Have you had luck getting your songs on like Sirius and some of the? I mean, there's so many country stations.
There are a few iHeart radio stations that my
Yeah,
songs have been on. Um, I can't remember which ones. I know Good Kind of Crazy was on a few, but it was like out in Florida, which was super random.
yeah,
They're like randomly, and half the time I don't find out my songs on a radio station until somebody will like text me, somebody like I haven't talked to since
yeah,
high school, and they'll be like, "You'll never believe it. I'm at this place and your song came on." And I'm like, "Wow, can you like take a video and send it to me? Because I love hearing about these things." Because radio stations or like different places, they can use your song and they don't necessarily like notify you that they're
yeah.
like using your song. Like somebody that worked with Hunter, my husband, the other day was like, yeah, I was at a gas station in Kentucky and her song came on, and it's just like, ah, see, I wish I would know they'd use it because then I would like promote it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't. As far as like the highway, that's on my goal for this year. Um, but we'll see. The radio, a lot of people have like this idea that the radio is like one of the first things that happens when the song releases and it does well,
Oh.
but typically it's the last. It's like the hardest. I feel like there's literally like a monopoly over radio stations.
Well, that's the old school too. I mean, that's
Yeah.
you used to. They call it payola. You used to have to pay people to get your songs on the radio because you'd go to a
Oh
DJ
yeah.
and say, "Hey, here's 100, here's 300, here's 1,000. Hey, let's go have
Right.
golf. Let's go dinner. Let's."
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Or you go on a radio tour, which is like, as an independent artist, it's so much money.
yeah,
It's so much money. I'd say that's the hardest thing about being an independent artist. It's like everything you have to do in order to like really make it. Thank God we have TikTok now because it kind of is a little light for artists who can't afford to do these things. But
yeah.
it's all very, very costly to do anything. To even release music is so much money. And it's like, it's we get put through the ringer, man. I mean, but it's okay. I think it's good. It's a filter. It kind of filters out some people, but I
That's
think in
true.
doing that, it filters out some really good people too, who just can't make it happen.
I was going to ask you too, and I believe this with a lot of things in life. A lot of it's about timing.
Oh yeah, being in the right place at the
Yeah,
right time is probably everything.
because there are a lot of good artists, like you said. Like literally, we went down Broadway, and I'm like, oh, I want to stop and listen to these people. And then we'd go to like
Yeah,
we'd walk 20 feet and hear another band. You're like, oh my god, they're really good too. And then we'd go around the corner, like, oh my god, let's go check these guys out.
yeah.
I
There is
mean,
a disgusting amount of talent in the city. So much talent. It's not like you go to live music in some random town and the band's like,
yeah,
not too sure about it. Here, it's like, it's actually like everywhere you go, like
yeah.
it's just talent on talent on talent.
And we went out
It's kind
like,
of like what I said earlier. It's like a
yeah,
city filled with, the number
the
ones from
best.
their high school. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the saying of a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in the big pond. And
Yeah.
you're in a big pond right now.
Yes. Yeah, I am.
So
Competition though makes you hungry. Like it definitely, it keeps you on your toes. It's the constant realization, like, if I don't work this hard, then the person next to me will, and they'll make it.
yeah, yeah, and then right time.
Yep. Being
Yeah,
in the right place at the right time. And just, now I would say the most important thing you can do as an artist, like hands down, the most important thing as an independent artist is networking, meeting as many people as you possibly can,
yeah.
shaking as many hands as you can. Um, that is so important. I mean, that's important like with any industry, I guess. Well, no, it's not.
No, not as
But
much.
yeah, but the music industry, so important.
Going on random podcasts, it's all part of the
Yes, it
part of the
is. No, it
business.
is. I don't typically ever turn down anything, unless I'm literally out of town or doing something where I know I wouldn't be able to do it. But yeah, that's important. And engaging with people, like, when you have people trying to message, like you reached out to me over Instagram, it's so important to like actually reply to these people.
Yeah, even if
Like,
it's a no.
yes, exactly. Communication, because
Yeah,
sometimes people, they just don't. I'll be like, oh, I see all these different comments and you're not replying. Like, why aren't you replying? Like, these are the people who are going to be buying the tickets,
yeah. Well,
you know?
like I said, I mean, I already let's see. I mean, I already bought your songs, you know,
Hell yeah. Oh
but
God, there's the curse word.
right? I don't know if you can see them.
Yes. Yeah, no, I can see it. I can see the artwork from here because I literally designed all of it.
But I I'm always amazed. Like I've reached out to really big stars,
Uh-huh.
and it seems like they're really big, but they still get back to me. It's the
Yes.
smaller artists that don't. It's weird.
Yes. I'll tell you right now. They see those messages.
Oh, I
I
know.
checked my on like you have like on Instagram where it's like I don't know what it categorizes it as, but like messages that aren't from people you're following and it like
Sure.
pops up in the right hand. I check that every day, multiple times a
I
day.
do too.
Like, so I'm like, I know you see the message. Like, come on. But hey, it's not everybody's cup of tea, I guess. Good
No, but
luck to them.
it's interesting because I'll even get the bigger artists will say they'll usually reply back saying, "Hey, I'm not doing any interviews at this time. Maybe at the end of the year when I have a new album coming out or a new movie coming out or whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
which
we'll
makes
touch back a
sense.
base." But they
Yeah, if you
always
don't
get
have
back.
anything, yeah,
It's the
always get back.
small ones
Yeah.
that don't.
Yeah, I don't know why. I feel like I know what you're saying.
Oh
I don't
no,
know.
and I equate like I have friends that I asked to be on my show, but they knew me
Yeah.
before I had the show, so they're like, "Oh, you're just Pete. You're just fucking Pete. Whatever. We'll
Uh-huh.
talk.
Yeah.
I'll t-" you know." Whereas I'll have Oscar winners, Grammy winners, are like replying back to me, and I'm like, "Hold on,
That's
my
why they're Grammy winners though,
there you go.
because their communication is there. They don't think, I think it's you can't think you're better than anybody else because you're not.
Yeah. Hang on one second, because my neighbor's dog was barking.
Mm. I couldn't hear it. It's all
There you
good.
go. I don't. It, it's good when you have good mics, but then it's bad when you have good mics because they
Yeah.
pick up everything. So
Yeah. No, I couldn't hear any dogs, so we're all good.
there you go. So, what's the best way for my listeners to kind of see what you have coming up? Is it Tik? It's not TikTok. That's the one negative, I think.
No, I would say, I mean, follow anybody can follow me on TikTok, but I would say as far as like really staying up to date with everything I have, my Instagram.
Okay.
I like to think of Instagram as like the LinkedIn to and TikTok is like the Facebook. One is like
I
more
like that.
professional, actually has like everything going on, and it has that on my website. But honestly, I would say my Instagram is the best, most up to date. I'm the
Okay.
most active on it with everything, and I'm pretty good at like announcing anytime. Oops. I love it when somebody I don't know calls me and it says it's potential spam.
Yeah.
I'm one of those where until I know it's 1000% going to happen, which once again, even when you think that happens, it doesn't necessarily happen. But where I don't announce it until I know it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. Even though it's not confirmed.
Definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely Instagram. Definitely hands down. And that is Tracielynn Music, Tracy with an IE. LYNN Music. And it's actually my handle, my social media handle, Tracielynn Music, is the same across all platforms.
Okay.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. But yeah.
And I'll make sure I always include the links on my website for all my guests. So
Yeah,
if they're
definitely.
listening, they can just go and click right away.
Yeah, and then on musical platforms, it's just Tracielynn with no space.
Now is that Spotify, Apple Music?
Yes, everywhere you can possibly listen to music, it's Tracielynn.
YouTube?
There's YouTube, yeah, YouTube as well.
Okay.
I think you can actually look up either or Tracielynn Music or just Tracielynn. I know that if you go on Google and you just type in Tracielynn, it will populate every musical platform, social page with my name, which is sometimes easier, especially like for people who aren't as like tech savvy and they don't really know how all the musical platforms work. It's just easier. Just go to Google, type it in, and it'll all be there. And you can click whichever one you're familiar with.
2 last questions.
Yes.
What are your top 3, if you can come up with them, places that you want to play?
Okay.
And who are the top 3 artists you'd like to play with?
Okay, so one place-wise, Red Rocks.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Red Rocks.
My buddy just saw Ryan Bingham there a while back. He said it was awesome.
Really? And then this one is not as big, but I grew up going to it back home, and it's called the Norva. and it's not a big venue, but it's one of those that I would
Person.
like to check off. Yeah, I won a singing competition when I was like really little, and I got to stand on that stage and sing, and every concert I went to growing up was there.
Okay.
Like, and it was like,
Yeah.
I think Billie Eilish even performed there before she was like Billie Eilish. It's like a stepping stone in the path of things. But what's another one? I'm not really sure. I would like to do as many outdoor like amphitheater shows.
Okay.
I love those because not all of them are like this, but the majority of them in the very, very back, you have like grass seats.
Yeah.
And like lawn seats.
Yeah,
and it's
I've been
just
there.
like a pool. Yeah, okay, I do have another one. I don't know, I can't think of the name of it, but it just opened here in Nashville, not even like a year and a half ago. And Greta Van Fleet just performed there like 6 months ago, and they're phenomenal. And it's an amphitheater, it's outdoors, but there's huge rocks. It's like in a cutout of rocks.
Okay.
And it's amazing. And then artist wise, it was who I'd like to like collaborate with or go on tour with.
Yeah.
Hardy is one of my favorites. So he used to only ever and I don't know him personally, this is just what I've been told, he only ever used to write, and basically one day his like management or whoever it was like, dude, you should probably like try singing your songs too. And he was like, okay. And now it's just working out for him. I love him. I just love everything he's doing, his style, his lyrics, his music, everything. Chris Stapleton, absolutely adore him. I honestly think, I probably shouldn't say this, but I honestly think he's one of the most talented artists in country music.
Why wouldn't you say that?
Because I don't want anyone to be like, but what about no hard feelings? Okay, he's
up there. Yeah.
The most talented. Yes, I remember when I saw him at the CMAs, and it takes a lot for like, when you're watching a performance live, like actually being there in person, you can get goosebumps and like, it really can make your jaw drop. Now to have that same effect via television is a little bit harder, and it had very much that effect on me.
Yeah.
I was like jaw dropped. I had goosebumps. I had a few like glasses of wine deep. I turned it up on my TV like as loud as it could go, and I was like, I'm here. This is like real life. Phenomenal artist. My third is probably Miranda. I just love Miranda Lambert, and I think my reasoning for that, I always say her, I was like, I got to come up with something else. Like, but she sounds the exact same she sounded like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something to be said about that, because it just, sorry, my phone like just clicked out. It just, to me, I'm like, okay, she knows who the hell she is. She's unapologetically herself. Her line of vision is there. Her music has not fluctuated with the waves of the music industry and how the industry changes on what is a number one and what's mainstream and what's not. Yeah. So yeah, I would say those three for sure. But all in all, I don't really, there's not one person. I like a huge handful of artists for multiple reasons. Like Joan Jett is one of my favorite artists. Her and Heart are some of my favorite artists. I saw them out on tour like 3 years ago. They did a tour together, and let me tell you, those women still can work the stage and sing, and it was amazing.
Did you see Did you see the Heart version of when they at the Kennedy Center they played "Stairway to Heaven" for Led Zeppelin?
No, I haven't.
You have to YouTube that.
Oh, okay, I will.
With
I think
good audio.
At the wrong time, because like audio. I think like 70s, like 80s rock, like Motley Crue stuff. Like I love rock. That's why I think a lot of my songs, especially like All Goes South, like there's a heavy impact of rock in that as well. It's like a country rock, and I love rock. I love country, obviously. Yeah. I love all of it. But yeah, I even love Frank Sinatra. I think it depends on my mood. I love all genres of music, except I haven't gotten on the screamo boat yet. You know, like the screaming music.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gives me anxiety, but I don't think it's bad. It just isn't for me necessarily.
I went to, the only story I could tell you, I went to the Whiskey A Go-Go on Sunset
Uh-huh.
Boulevard. My friend was a drummer in a band, and they're headlining that night. And so we're in the green room, and the other band, the opening band, was in there, and there was this girl, 5'4", 120 pounds, super nice, just hi, how's it? Oh my God, we're so excited to play here tonight. It's our dream, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, great, this is awesome. We go out front and she plays and she's the singer. And I hear, and
Oh my
I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
God. Oh my
I couldn't
God.
believe it.
And she's like, what, this tiny little
She was,
girl? Like,
yeah, and she belted it out the whole set.
that's
That's and
so
that's how she
funny.
sang the whole set. I'm like, I just talked to you. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, I nothing towards it, nothing against it.
No,
It just
no,
isn't my cup of tea.
it was pretty awesome. I was like, that blew me away. That was my first time I ever
Yeah.
saw one live. I was like, and it was a girl. I was just like shocked.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can only imagine.
It was pretty funny. So there's your screamo. Uh,
Yeah.
I appreciate the time. That was awesome.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah. Today I like did the majority of my work from home just because I didn't really work Thursday, Friday. I don't really do unless I have a show on Saturday or Sunday. Honestly, no, I'm lying. My brain is on 24/7, 7 days a week with this, but I try not to do anything on the weekend. So today was like catching up with what I didn't do on Thursday and Friday last week. And with the new release,
Yeah.
um, it's the week of like a new release is pretty hectic.
And you got some good. You're getting some good radio play, good press on it. I've been watching on.
Yeah, Pandora got playlists on Pandora, got playlists on Apple Music. I think Spotify will be next.
Okay.
Spotify, if you're listening to this.
Oh, they're listening on your phone. They're listening on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I love it. I think it's a very timeless, more traditional sounding country song. So my fingers are crossed for it, but you never know which songs are going to do well. You just never know.
I have the same thing with my episodes.
Yeah.
I've had episodes where I'm like, oh, it's okay. You know, it's fun. It was good. And all of a sudden, I'm getting feedback and DMs. I'm like, really? Like, you never know.
You just know. Hey, it's that algorithmic monster.
Very true, unfortunately.
Because musical platforms have an algorithm as well.
Absolutely. It's the thing I don't like about Spotify, sorry, because I'm on Spotify too.
It's okay.
It's like I'll do the playlist or a random playlist, and like I want to hear that song and then other songs like that, but they won't play that song. And
are you not premium?
I don't know.
So you have to pay for that. It's basically you can have your normal Spotify. Anybody can have a Spotify, but it won't allow you to do the reason why you have Spotify. So it'll like curate a playlist of songs similar to that one, but there's no guarantee that one will be on that playlist. Yeah, that's their way of being like, you got to pay for it monthly.
See?
Yeah.
So that'd be like a Patreon. One of my guests, and I know OnlyFans is considered a risque site.
Right.
But it's not only, because I have one guest that she has an OnlyFans and she's making money and she doesn't do nudes or anything. She just plays music on it.
Yeah, no, I think that it's a stigma because obviously the big bulk of people on there are doing that.
Sure.
But if you can go on there and then not do that and make money, then hey.
It's kind of like Patreon or whatever, right?
Say that again?
It's kind of like Patreon where you can pay a fee.
I would never, everyone's got their own hustle.
Yeah.
You do whatever works for you and pays your bills, like do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat now.
Yeah, no, there is, especially now, like we were saying earlier, like Instagram and TikTok, now they pay not enough, I don't think, to pay your bills, unless you're getting like millions of views on all your videos. But
depends on what your bills are too.
Yeah, exactly. That too. That's an important factor.
Not in downtown Nashville, you're not.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Just not pay the bills. I'm lucky enough to where I have a husband who is my support system. Yes.
But you provide the artwork on the wall, so it's okay. It's a good trade-off.
I do, and I provide the music in the background.
See?
Yes, all in hopes that one day maybe I'll be the breadwinner, right, Hunter? No, he's not listening.
Oh, he's listening. He's like, breadwinner, what? Well, I appreciate the time. And
thanks, Pete, for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to stay in touch. I'll be trying to get to Nashville in June. It looks like
Okay.
my friend's opening up a theater downtown on 6th Street. So
Okay.
they're
What's it called?
I'll have to get back to you. He texted me this week. That's why we're going to go there. And they're the ones that live in Murfreesboro, and
Mhm.
but it's right on 6th Street, right up. It's more downtownish.
All right, Don, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
Is it like a music venue or like a theater for like kind of Broadway like plays or something?
I don't know exactly. I think it's going to be more of a production. So
Okay,
not
cool.
like live guests, but like a production show. I'll have to find out.
Yeah,
So I'll be there
interesting.
end of May, early June. He set up something similar in Vegas, and then some people with money in Nashville hired him away and moved him to Nashville.
Hmm.
And then he did the same thing like you. He moved there like I think February or March of 2020, and that was not a good time to wanting to open up a live venue when nothing was open because of the
Yeah,
pandemic.
no, I know. I have a bunch of friends that are not doing the artist thing, but they're in the music industry.
Yeah,
And the companies are just like really struggling still,
yeah. So he's
especially the ones that are totally reliant on tours, which is, I mean, artists are like the only way we make money. Like the streaming world,
not
you
it.
know, no, it's touring and selling merch.
Merch.
That's pretty much it. And so none of us really made money.
No,
That's
and
okay though. We're bouncing back.
it really affected everybody. I interviewed uh, Justin Bieber's tour manager
Mhm.
in April of 2020 or May, and he goes, "I just laid off 83 people for the Bieber 2020 tour because
I
obviously
know. Like,
they
and
were
then
like,
what do these people do? Like, if they don't have a backup,
no, and
like,
they had booked out 8 months to be on tour,
yeah,
and
82
now,
people is not a lot though. Those kind of tours are like
yeah,
so hundreds, hundreds, hundreds,
well, that's
hundreds,
just
maybe even a thousand.
that was just his direct, I guess, like the crew that goes, yeah. So I mean, they have much more, but
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It did its thing. But I think right now we're kind of like we're all bouncing back. We're trying to
yeah,
slowly, but it's in a positive direction, I
I
think.
agree.
So yeah.
I agree.
So fingers crossed we stay that way and the music industry continues to like I know some tours are still being canceled, but a lot
Yeah.
aren't.
Uh,
So
yeah, and everyone's kind of waiting to see,
yeah.
rebooking,
Yeah.
rescheduling.
That's like one of the big obstacles I've ran into is just there's still stuff in the pipeline for like certain venues and certain like fairs and festivals that like, that won't happen for the first time until this summer again. And it's like they have
Right.
to honor the people who were in the pipeline two years ago. So
So when you get
we'll
big,
see.
the interesting thing that Chris told me, Bieber's manager or tour manager, you know who affects his business the most?
Who?
The NBA,
Because of their tournament.
because the NBA gets first rights to when they're going to schedule games. So because like if they own the Stapleton Center or they own the arena, they have first right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they have to decide when they're going to make up their makeup games and all that,
Right.
and then
And they're going to be the priority.
they're the priority. So Bieber and
Yeah.
everybody else is was waiting to see how the basketball teams were going to schedule it out.
Right. And
I
they're
was
in
like,
no rush.
no, they know they have priority. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that, but that makes sense.
yeah,
That makes absolute sports. Sports are everything.
yep. So
But yeah,
when you get as big as Reba, you'll have to worry about the basketball teams.
I know those damn basketball teams. No, I like basketball because I actually can understand it. It's football I don't really have the full grasp on yet, but I think it's because I'm always like in the nosebleeds, so I can't really see them, and I typically tailgate before, so
I was gonna say.
yeah, so it's kind of just like this blurred little specks running, but yeah. Okay,
Well,
well, fun stuff. Fun fact, I learned something.
there you go. We'll get you. So you got to
Yeah.
play the national anthem at Titan Stadium. That way
Oh
you
yeah,
can be right down there.
exactly. The Titans or the Predators.
Yeah.
Either one. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, let's
I
make that
will.
happen. We'll put that out there.
Yes. Yeah. Hell yeah.
All righty. Well, hey, so around June 1st, June 2nd, schedule something to play somewhere in Nashville so I can come watch you play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I want to say I'm No, I should be. I should just be getting back from Virginia. So I might have something then. I'll have to check. There's a lot of things I got to check on.
Well, that's why we're all going to stay in touch with you on your social media pages.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. Again, thanks, Tracielynn, and
yeah, thanks, Pete, for having me.
We'll be listening to you out there in the world.
Yes, in real life. Sounds good. And once again, my name is Tracielynn, and you guys can follow me, stay up to date with everything. My social media is Tracielynn Music across all platforms, and then musical platforms, it's just Tracielynn.
Perfect. Thanks, Tracielynn.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.